Hi, I'm Sean Ferrick from Trek Culture, and you are watching Live Long and Podcast.
It is Thursday, January 29th, 2026, and we are here live with Live Long and Podcast to talk about Episode 4 of Starfleet Academy, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Episode 4, Trivial Debates. What's that? Second. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the episode name is Vox and Excelso.
Okay.
So sorry. Easy.
I thought I was on the wrong show for a minute. I thought I was double booked.
I thought I was on the wrong show too when I was watching this episode. My name is Worldmind, Chris Murphy. I am here, your host with the most, one of the few that probably looks best with their shirt off in a scene, the shower room scene with a bunch of us if we're all in a locker room. We're here to talk about Starfleet Academy, and I am here joined by two of my favorites of all of our crew. The one and only, always happy to give a jaded but expert and truthful review, Jaemeel Robinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that couldn't have been my intro. There's no way.
Wait, what? I was ready. I was like,
Yeah, no. I totally knew that was Jaemeel from the minute he started.
I'm a cadet. Hey. Yeah, thanks. Salutations. This is the third episode. We've done 3 episodes Live Long for this show, and I've been on all 3. This is like a record. 3 in a row.
This is a record, actually. I was going to mention that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I'm silent partner in this organization. But it's great to talk Starfleet Academy with you all.
It just makes every appearance more special, Jaemeel. That's all.
Oh.
And much like the blue moon of our podcast crew, we've got the one and only Jody Simpson here to talk.
What exactly does that mean? Blue moon?
Blue moon.
You know what? I'm just winging it. I didn't come in with a script like Captain Dave Mater, who is not here today.
I have to admit, this podcast has gone downhill in this last episode. Usually there's nice intros, and I feel that I've been booked on the wrong show. But,
listen, I would have taken time to write up some intros, but I only had enough time to get screen captures and maybe an audio clip or two. Speaking of audio clips, I was supposed to play this little intro clip as we do normally, so ignore the fact that I started everything, but whatever, we'll just
for the chicken shit. Excuse me, are you allowed? Speech and debate is not for the chicken shit.
Excuse me, are you allowed to talk like that?
Like what? Cadet Holloway, know that I have existed longer than your entire lineage. I have earned the right to speak as I see fit. One day, you too may earn that same privilege. But alas, that day is not today.
I'm not sure existed is the right word, but anyway.
Poor Holloway,
I
man.
mean-
He just kind of got smacked down in the middle of the damn classroom.
Yeah, so how it is. Anyway,
One more person. You have to introduce Cupcake.
Oh well, Cupcake's here. She's
Our views will instantly just
She's
multiply.
here.
Oh, there. Okay.
I brought she's here to talk about Starfleet Academy. She's the target to my sad emo boy Klingon ship. Yeah.
So I just want to say, just based on what you've already said so far, Chris, like I was told you were all about this show. So what's going on here?
I think
I
there's a
sense some sorrow.
I there's a bit of a misconstruction. Construction. That's not a word. Either way,
Could be now.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I was hopeful for this show, and it's kind of. I think the first episode, specifically, was such a swerve on what I was expecting this show to be. And I was like, oh, this is what this show is going to be. This is going to be great. And then the following 3 episodes have been exactly what I thought this show was going to be, which is, Star Trek Breaker High.
Breaker
Wait,
High.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought I was going to be the neutral person. Am I the person who likes the show the most, I guess, out of everyone?
It's not that it's not, I mean, it's just, I think I haven't been super impressed with, I guess some of the way the story, it's very plain. Like last episode, I was not a fan. I was not a fan of the last episode. It was like, I get why they're doing this, and I enjoy the fact that they're ripping the Band-Aid off, so to speak, right? That they're basically...
This is such a different show when he hosts.
I know.
I like it. It's all chaos.
It is. This is very much. We are captains out of the sea.
Dave right now
we're
is probably
exploring.
watching on his phone because he's
Troy
currently on
is in
one
the
of-
captain's chair.
Yeah, he's on a different podcast right now, and he's probably like, "I can't believe I left him in charge."
I may or may not crash this into the ground. We won't know. We're gonna find out. But yeah, no.
You do blame Troy. Okay, go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, the show, like last episode, I wasn't a super big fan of. It was like, right. What I was saying was they're taking the trope of high school isms of like our football team versus the other football team, this intrepid relationship and this intrepid relationship. Like they're taking all this teen trope stuff, and I feel like they're ripping the Band-Aid off and getting this stuff out of the way so that hopefully later in the series it's a little more, I want to say we'll be a little more invested in the characters and organic and like exploring the Trek. Though I did enjoy the fact in this episode we were in space this time. We weren't,
Wait a
on
second.
San Francisco. We were
trekking.
doing some trekking. I was a little concerned we would only be stuck on the planet for the whole season. They would make it seem like we would go back and forth and we would just be stuck there. But no, thankfully we were in space.
You don't want more bottle episodes?
No, that's I think that was probably
This little show feels like a
parcels
bottle episode.
why I wasn't a fan of that last episode.
Like, I don't, from this show, like, if they start doing away missions like every single episode, I'm going to be like, yo, what are we doing really here? Come on. Let's.
The school is a ship, Jaemeel. What do you think's going to happen?
They can't do it every episode.
But they said they haven't done an away mission really.
This is
It's all
Kirkman's Trek.
been on
Thankfully.
campus.
Thankfully. I love this episode. I'm like, a spoiler alert. I love this episode. It's going to get a high mark from me. You all have like 40 something minutes to change my mind. Right? I'm in the Adam chair.
I'm not a hate on for this episode. I still at the end of this episode don't care that much about this character, and that kind of bothers me a bit. But
Which character though specifically? Caleb?
Oh, Caden.
Wait.
Jaden?
Jaden. Sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Jaden. Okay.
No, everybody calls
I wanna
him Jaden,
say-
except for himself.
Yeah, it's like okay. The one thing I did like about this episode is they kept calling him Cadet Crag, and I was like, I like him more as a Crag than a Jaden because Jaden just sounds like Jaden, and it does not seem like a Klingon name
folks,
to me.
We know that the naming convention that they saddled this character with was supposed to be like, okay, we want him to be relatable, right? So how about this? Jaden. And it's
Right.
like, I like it. Everyone will call him just Jaden, straight up. They'll just say Straighten. Very street. I like it. You know, when we need to like pull back the, you know, the Klingon, you know, type of thing, we go Jaden.
Thing?
It is straight up. It is.
I'm a white guy, so
absolutely.
I understand race things all the time.
It is absolutely. He's playing for a specific demographic. Honestly, he's like, just like I keep on. It's Caleb Mir, right? Am I right? Caleb right?
Mir is the main character. Yeah, the Mary Sue of the crew.
Jesus, right? At least he's built like a Mary Sue in terms of like skills.
His first like 10 minutes of this, guys, I'm shocked by what I'm hearing, especially out of Chris. I'm absolutely shocked. I was told going into this that he is all high praise on this show.
Yeah, they kind of mentioned it. Dave kind of mentioned it.
Wow.
I mean,
this was unexpected. I'm enjoying it.
I was high praise on the first episode, and the second episode I was like, okay, enjoyable, and then third episode I was like, okay, this is leading hard into that, like this is gonna be, you know, like Breaker High, this is gonna be 90210, Degrassi, whatever, it's gonna be all that stuff, but
I'm
on
not sure
spaceship.
we're even at that caliber at this point, but I'll say that.
I don't know, some of the writing, like I don't know, Caleb says some stuff about like game and all that stuff. Anyway, we will get into this as I break the episode down.
Okay.
But...
Do you like this better than Sequest?
No. I love Sequest. That was great.
Yeah, Sequest had better writing than this. Like dialogue wise. I don't know. Some of this dialogue just doesn't feel like Star Trek.
My high school play had better writing than this.
Oh, you guys.
I get it that okay, here's my thoughts about this. The dialogue, I get it. They're trying to keep it young and fresh and yada yada. If they told me this was the Tawny Newsome Star Trek comedy, I'd be like, okay, I'm all about what this is trying to be presented. But they're trying to present this as like the next great Star Trek series.
Are they?
Yeah. They're only one in their books.
Yeah, some of the marketing I've seen would lead me to believe that assumption. Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be the jumping off point, not necessarily the great new Star Trek thing. I think it's fitting a specific niche. Kurtzman obviously cares about this greatly. This has been like, it feels like his baby, what he's been kind of like going for, his vibe. But like, I don't know if this is the next Star. I think they're still trying to figure this out. This is a transitional show, just like Discovery was a transitional show to a whole bunch of other elements. But I don't get the feeling that this is the flagship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the reason why I say that is because they have two shows basically in the books right now: Strange New Worlds, which is pretty much being wrapped up and they're recording. Which means they only have Starfleet Academy, which means if they're going to go anywhere with Starfleet Academy, they're putting all of their cards behind this show, basically, because this is what's going to carry them forward for the next 5 years, foreseeably. They get 3 more years of Strange New Worlds, and then this, and then at maybe some point we might get the Tawny Newsome Star Trek comedy. Happy birthday, Sam Hagen, for being 22 today.
Yeah, way to go, Sam.
Happy 22. My son just turned 22 a little while ago.
Is Sam your son?
I hope not.
Do you don't remember that one drunken night in Newfoundland?
But I will tell you, the early 2000s were kind of a blur. So
Sam
was in Newfoundland.
Right on for you.
I wasn't in Newfoundland though, so I think I'm good.
Congratulations.
That's what he says, but he doesn't remember the night with the screech.
See, Sam, I agree. I think this is the jumping off point. No,
not in this
Jody.
Timeline.
No, Jody. No, I'm not. They should. This is the timeline, and
this whole
I don't.
Current thing's terrible.
I don't want them to do another original series. I I don't want to see stuff like.
There's plenty of time between, like,
why? Why just keep going forward?
Voyager and this timeline. Like,
We could just keep going forward.
Why?
Why not?
What have we gotten?
Okay. Hang on.
Anyway,
I for one am in favor of being in this timeline. I'm in favor of them exploring, and also sort of doing a retrospective on other species. However, they're not doing that. We're getting this yada yada explanatories of, key character species in Star Trek, and I feel like we're gonna keep getting these yada yada explanatories while they do a lot of major focus beats on the interpersonal relationships of the teen drama, stuff like that. And that's where the show is meant to be this, essentially. Like, I'm not knocking it for being that, but it's also like it's a little too heavy-handed, maybe something a little more balanced. And the first episode made it seem like we were going to get that balance, but so far the 3 episodes we've had after that first episode has been very much unbalanced in that way.
I thought it was okay.
This episode was a little more in there. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't like the first episode that much.
Really?
I thought it was. I thought it was a pilot. That's it.
It wasn't a
pilot. It wasn't a good episode. It was a pilot.
I think it's better than a lot of the Kurtzman era pilots.
Well, okay. Here's the thing.
I know that's not a high bar, but it's still. I thought it was decent.
Here's the thing about this Kurtzman era of Star Trek. This show is basically all the things that, like, all the lessons that Kurtzman learned in Discovery, right? All the things that he really didn't need to do that, like, made Discovery kind of unfavorable to a lot of people. And it was this following of a singular character and their story arc, essentially, from beginning to end, and everything was ancillary. When Star Trek is more about the whole cast,
it's usually
how they contribute, the ensemble cast, and how they contribute. And
that's actually, I think, why Picard was also pretty terrible too. So
yeah, agreed. And when they do that, that's what like same with Section 31. Like when it becomes like about a solo character and like a hero character, that's when Star Trek kind of falls apart, because Star Trek's about the ensemble, it's about the teamwork.
I don't think it's fair to compare this to Section 31. Like,
no, I'm not comparing this to Section 31.
Even I'm not that cold-hearted.
Jody, are you saying Section 31 was kind of like a Trojan figure? It's like, look, we're gonna make the worst thing that you could ever think of, and anything we make after this, it's only up. It's straight to the moon.
I wasn't using Section 31 as a comparison. It was an analogy.
I know,
right?
Saying.
So basically, the thing they're doing with Starfleet Academy is they're focusing more on the ensemble, and they're giving everyone their character beats. That's why, like, episode 3 wasn't so much about Caleb and he was a secondary, and I like that. I was like, okay, cool. And it was more of like a REM thing, and then this episode is more, it was based around Jaden and stuff. So I can see them doing that throughout the season, and then building back ultimately up to Baraka's character coming back, Paul Giamatti's character, and the big bad, and then hopefully it expands into a more grounded Trek and less of the teenage fluff, the bubble that these kids are living in. Eventually this bubble's going to shatter, and that's when this show's really going to kick off. I would
love to see the viewership on this show. I would love to see the demographic viewership and see like where it's at, because maybe it is like super popular and I'm not aware of this, but like, you know, it's maybe it is actually in the 20 somethings are enjoying this. I don't know.
I don't think you're gonna get accurate complete numbers until the series is over this season.
Yeah,
because there's gonna be people who are just gonna wait to binge specifically.
That's true. Yeah. A lot of people do that too. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, let's binge some clips and break down this episode, because we've just spent about 20 minutes going in circles talking about the nuances.
No different than any other podcast.
The show's good or not.
Come on. Now.
We're going 3 hours tonight.
We're not going 3 hours. I can tell you right now.
All right. So our cold open starts with a very beautiful nebula shot, and the Athena just nestled in the center like a rose petal. And our wonderful Chancellor, Mrs. Impossible, is, giving us her log, which I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching this, I found it a little odd. We saw her talking in her log briefly. It wasn't the whole thing. It was briefly enough, but it felt a little too interpersonal. I'm always used to like the captains or whatever giving their log, but it's always like scenery, never of the captain talking. It's always that voiceover.
I thought she was
And they lay
making
the
an
land.
announcement.
It felt like she was making like a morning announcement, like a principal. But did she go,
that's
okay,
interesting.
everyone, clear the bridge? I need to do morning announcements because the bridge was empty in some shots.
Well,
Maybe she's maybe she
it was-
just woke up early.
It was definitely a Chancellor's log. She mentioned Chancellor's log, so it was definitely a personal log to herself. But yes, she's doing this on the bridge to herself. Nobody's maneuvering the ship. It's between shifts. She's gave herself 10 minutes to do a log, I guess. And they just want to show off this set because they didn't actually build her. Or they did. Yeah, it's a good point. Why? Anyway.
It's supposed to sub in as morning announcements. They're presenting, they're using the log as like an address. All right. And then they use the shots of the students walking around like it's happening, like they're hearing it, but they're not really. So they're kind of putting imagery over it. And, if we're thinking of a school setting, it automatically feels like an announcement, but it isn't.
Okay, yeah, I see the presentation. My biggest complaint of the Kurtzman era is him and the writers took all the wrong lessons from DS9. They clearly love that show, but don't understand that show, says at EJR87R.
With that statement.
Well, give me my move along home Starfleet Academy episode then. I'm waiting.
Was that not the last episode? I don't know. They're playing a game. So yeah, we get introduced to the doctor introducing his class, talking about the first chain of language and the keys of debate, and that's where we get our chicken shit intro. And as you can see, Caleb is thrilled to know that he's about to be in debate class, while Jaden's about to go into a flop sweat and fall apart, very un-Klingon like. But the kid that was in the Wednesday show is asking the doctor why, you can say things like chicken shit. And he's like, kid, I'm 1,000 years old. Don't even talk to me. Yeah. Jaden's freaking out. Raimi is trying to encourage Jaden that it's all warrior to debate or whatever. And then the doctor gives him a little tap on the shoulder. Teacher interrupts him, and then he brings him up front to talk about debate, and he's like, I will prove that you don't exist, which Raimi's like, wait, what? He's like, that's your best intro, and then, we get the whole everyone line up, and that's when we see Caleb, again, being the super genius that he is, apparently, and he knows all the laws, like he's from Suits, and he's just crushing everyone in the debates.
Oh, it's so great.
Open the book to any page.
I love that. I love that. Look, the whole Caleb arc, I think it's leading to him getting, the shit kicked out of him. Him eating, some turf later on because he has a high opinion of himself, and in some respects, yes, he is well ahead of a lot of the other students, but I think that's coming for him, and him having to come to grips with that he isn't as hot shit as he thinks he is going to be something that is going to, have to it's going to be a storyline beat. I guess I was the closest to Kurtzman, and I didn't get a chance to. I apologize.
Yeah, next time.
We'll call Admiral Dama and see if we can throw him out of an airlock.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway,
I think you're right, Jaemeel. I think this is a character that is going to prove time and time again he's going to be getting kicked down.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be his personal journey at Starfleet Academy, and I don't know if I like that idea.
He's a new Worf. He's going to be the new Worf for a bit.
Worf didn't have anxiety and cold sweats all the time.
Oh no, I'm talking about Caleb.
Oh,
Caleb
Oh, okay.
later on is going to be running into stuff, and
Yeah.
he's just gonna get totally sideswiped.
Yeah.
right?
But maybe they'll give him.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give him a posting on Deep Space 28, and he'll turn into a better character then.
Honestly, I think he's a good character. So the fact is, this is apparently this actor's first role, and he's
Really?
doing a pretty good job.
I think
Yeah,
he's doing a
he's
good
doing
job if this is his first role for sure.
like this is his first on-screen role. I guess he's done stage acting or whatever before, but this is his first on-screen role. I guess he was just a
I don't have a problem
bodybuilder
with him.
before
I
this.
just-
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think his story is a typical 2 trope, but past that, it's I don't really have that big of a problem with him.
I think he's gonna make it big. Honestly,
This guy,
Me too.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
guy has a lot of charisma. He's one of the driving forces for me to continue watching the show. I actually enjoy this character of Caleb Muir. Do I find him a little too like, okay, guy, you don't have to be that perfect. You already have a perfect body. You don't need to be perfect in everything else too. Okay,
Well, Murphy,
you can dumb it down a bit.
I know it's like you and Caleb have similar situations of being in great shape, very good looking. It's hard. I know.
You meant to say me,
Single
right?
children.
you meant to say me, right? No.
Yes, absolutely, Jody. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I actually
Yeah,
enjoyed
no,
this character of Caleb Muir. It's the other.
He
It's
actually
the other
reminded me of-
characters.
Of a younger George Clooney, because Clooney had the same thing where he could do 20 different expressions with his face while standing there doing nothing,
Yeah.
which I think this guy's really good at. So I think
Yeah, he's a good reactor. He reacts
I,
well.
I
at,
wouldn't
like,
be
the lines
surprised
being
if
fed
we
to him.
see him in a lot of major roles.
And that's all it
Yeah,
takes.
especially after this. After like 2 seasons of this, they're gonna start
I'm
opening.
not
up to
sure
more
this is
films,
what's
and then,
going to
yeah.
be selling everybody, but
No, I think it's going
I
to be
think
the
this
loop around. So
Yeah.
like he's going to like be in some big movie, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we can't wait for season 3 of Starfleet Academy, or it's the
And it
Starfleet
gets
Academy
canceled.
season. This is start. Oh, I don't think once he makes it big, I don't think they're going to cancel the show.
I don't think
The
they'll
thing
make
is,
it
I
where the show gets canceled. But
from what I've gathered, is generally in the acting community is catching Star Trek is like a big thing. Landing on
Oh,
Star Trek is a
absolutely.
big IP to get. So for him to sort of come out the gate with that in his books, it's gonna
Yeah.
open some
Hell of a
doors to
first
him that
start.
right. It's gonna open some doors to him that may not have been there previously. And
Yeah.
what he does with those doors, we will have to wait and see. I look forward to his potential work. But not to digress. Let's get back on track real quick and get through these. So yeah, Jaden's going through flops. Caleb sort of checks on him, and he's basically having a hard panic attack because he's a scientist warrior, Klingon man that can't speak. So that is when Caleb decides to kidnap him and take him to what I assume is like one of the classrooms, and he's hijacked one of the drones to like bring them containers of food,
dots.
replicated food.
is it
And he gives
really
them some-
hard to walk over to a replicator? Like, why is this a thing? But anyway.
I mean,
And
I
also, they play a game where they literally teleport people like that. You're telling me you can't just teleport some replicated food over to them? Like,
I think they're supposed to eat in the cafeteria, right?
Yeah, well,
Which
that-
we haven't necessarily seen.
this is
And
true,
so it's not that they couldn't replicate the food, is that they're hiding in a classroom. They hijacked a dot, which is what they refer to the drones.
Yeah,
And then they had the drones bring the food to them, not necessarily, configure the dot to.
I think they're
replicate it
eating
themselves.
all the bongs in the background. You go back one, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
two bongs right there. Those other two might be salt shakers. I don't know.
Yes.
yeah, no, just to the left there. Yeah, I see it. So Caleb's like, here, eat your feelings away, and he gives him pizza, and then Jaden does this like, not the pepperoni. I won't eat any animal that I haven't hunted or killed. And then he's like picking pepperoni off, and this is a continuity that bugged me because he's picking pepperoni off, saying he won't eat it. And then he's like, what? But it's, the best part. And then he's spitting out the pizza that apparently he won't eat. What are we doing here?
I'm not a vegetarian, but I'm pretty sure like if the meat was already on it, that would be a problem. So, but I guess
I
he's
don't
not.
think he's a vegetarian.
He's
No,
not a vegetarian though. He says he eats meat and stuff. It's just he has to kill it. So he's like,
Well,
all
not
right,
if
well,
he
if
But we
it's-
see it on the
He-
flashbacks. He
he-
doesn't kill anything.
he doesn't kill
said-
anything. Yeah.
He doesn't say that it has to kill it. He says that he won't eat anything that or any meat that hasn't been caught and killed.
Yeah, basically hunted. He's not eating meat that wasn't hunted, so
So
he's
unless
not
it's
down
been,
for
So it
the
doesn't need to be
process.
hunted by him.
A free range salami, and he has to shoot it or something.
Yeah, he won't eat, factory meat, but he'll eat venison if it was like, from the forest or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
naturalist.
Yeah, exactly. So Caleb's like, well, I got you this like super gawk stew. I forget what it was called. EJR87 says Caleb's actually one of the only reasons I keep watching the show. I like this episode, but I think the Klingon stuff should be in another show. I don't know what other show that would be. I know this Klingon stuff was going to happen. It happened quick. I'm glad they got it out of the way. They're probably not going to reference this again for the rest of the season.
Oh, I
because they
hope
just
they
lay
do.
down. They'll probably come back to like his brother or something. He might like catch up with his family or something to that degree. But they have to do that because Jaden is basically one of the only like aliens in the main crew of the students. Like there's Genesis, sure, and there's Remy, sure, but they all kind of look human at the end of the day. There's nothing like really
He's the
super
outsider.
alien defined about them. He's the one that like looks most like the outside because he's got the Klingon like head. And the other thing about his Klingon look is he looks more Klingon when he had the full beard. When he's got this like short beard, he looks a little too human.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that
Mm-hmm.
because like when you see the flashbacks of him 15 years ago or whatever it was, I think he looks way more badass then.
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
think he's necessarily looking badass. So
What's that?
I don't think he's necessarily trying to look badass.
Oh no, I don't think he is. I just think
There's just
Klingon
his
awesome.
natural look. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Caleb offers him this like super gog stew, whatever. I forget the exact name, but he doesn't want to have it because it's warrior stew, and he's not a warrior. And then that's when he gets the message he needs to go talk to Chancellor Invisible Woman, and he gets the message that something happened with assuming the refugee planet that the Klingons were on, and potentially his family could be dead. And then you get the sort of like flashback of him laughing with his family around a campfire. But yeah.
So there was a Klingon ship, as it says there, that held a lot of the remaining or all of the Klingon houses, and that ship crashed. That was the incident.
Taurus 7.
Yeah.
So Taurus 7, and everyone's like, we don't know the fate of the passengers. Probably a lot of
Well,
it.
you're also wiping out pretty much all the houses at once, right? Like it's
That
How
would
big
basically
was that
devastate the
ship?
entire.
Yeah.
Klingon.
Well, okay, this is a part of this is the yada yada of the Klingon history. Is like, one, where's Kronos? Two, why are all the major houses on one ship? How big is said ship? How many people died? Like, there's so many. Like, is the ship a Battlestar-esque ship where there's tinier ships inside? Like, they made it seem like in the
Well, and she's
flashbacks,
like, "We'll
his
let you
family
know
had a
once-"
smaller ship.
yeah,
We know, right?
And
Yeah.
the captain is like, "Oh, well, once we find out what's going on, we'll let you know," which is coming up in a scene, but we don't really ever get told. Like the whole
Yeah,
episode,
something
we
happened to
don't know what
Kronos.
happened. Yeah,
Something happened to Kronos during the burn,
Well, the
right?
burn blew up Kronos apparently.
right? And that meant that a lot of the empire was, extremely fractured and displaced, and now they're basically going from planet to planet as refugees,
Mhm.
right? And so they're kind of battle starring it from what, and this big battle star ship, I assume, crashed, had an incident and crashed.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So Jaden is like, okay, and Chancellor Aki is like, do you need a counselor? The doctor will speak to you if you need to. And he's like, I just want to go back to my studies. Thanks. My family and I separated years ago. It's totally fine. And then he sort of gets this like stunned look, and that's beginning the credits. Then we get our flower petal intro, which not a fan of this intro. This is one of the weakest intro songs for a show.
I don't
ever.
like the song. I think the visuals are interesting, but
The visuals are interesting, but the
but
song
after you
is
see
so
it once,
soft.
it's like meh.
Yeah, like I'm down to skip it, and I generally
it's
I need
do.
a second
Picard
season update. I need a second season new intro.
Yeah. Second season, give us
Oh,
a new
maybe they
intro.
will. You know, who knows?
I think what they should do is just give us a different intro each season, like it's an anime show. You know, that's
That would be
how they should do this. That would be cool. That would make it different. Everyone
If I
would be
can,
down.
if I can figure out a show based on just seeing the intro and which intro it is, like for instance, Scrubs. I know every single intro they have for that, and there wasn't that many, but they did change some things. So I kind of know it from that, and other things as well. But
Yeah, they should do the same with this show. So this episode was written by written by Guy Violo and Eric Anthony Glover, and directed by Doug Aronofsky. Aronofsky?
you're gonna butcher it either way. Just move on.
Yeah.
Aronofsky. Anyway, we're on Krios Prime 60 months ago. We're getting the flashback of Jaden and his brother. Did anyone catch his brother's name?
No, I'm just here to react, dude.
Okay, well, the Cragg family.
The technicals being
I think he called him Cog or something like that. Anyway,
Cog in
so
the wheel,
James-
of course. That's classic Kurtzman writing. He's like, his name is Cog.
So Cog gets his brother Jaden a little forbidden fruit, a little Starfleet technology, his own personal FAP computer. And that's where Jaden's sort of living with that memory. And then he sort of gets interrupted when Sam and Genesis are like, we're so sorry about your family. We can help you if you need anything. He's like, I don't need any help. And then they try to proceed with their debate class. And then one student's like, shouldn't we talk about the Klingons? And then they're like, the doc's like, no, we shouldn't talk about the Klingons. The student comes up, he's like, we should. They destroyed their own planet. And the Cabe's like, let's not have like idiocy. Guys, come on, that's like a bunch of propaganda. Jaden's clearly disheartened by everything. He gets sort of short-tempered with everyone and is like, no, let's talk about this. I'd rather talk about this in this classroom than have it be talked about outside of this classroom. Like, it's not going to be talked about outside of the classroom. And he does say this like really good line about, you can't ignore reality. It's still like reality's still going to be there no matter what. And the doctor's like, shit, he's got me. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about the Klingons. And then we jump to Chancellor Mrs. Impossible and Zadie Vance, and he's coming in via hyperlink to let her know we found a planet just like Kronos, like it's same habitable thing, it's everything, but Klingons, they just don't want to take it. And then for whatever reason, they're 1,000 years in the future, and they still can't get past DSL friggin' internet connections. The Zoom call,
the 3D Zoom call was needs to be resumed. They're probably using Teams.
Yeah,
If they're using Teams, this makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. So yeah, the whole.
So
I
can
feel
we?
like okay, 1 second. They need to stop doing this visually. I think if they want to indicate somebody's a hologram, all they have to do is change their voice, make it a little more digital sounding, and get the idea. He's
or
clearly
just make
a
the audio
hologram.
go a little in and out or something like.
Yeah, something. But we don't need this like visual, like throw on a glitch transition real quick. Like it's cold. It's done. We don't need it anymore.
It's
but yeah, that's Kurtzman. So Vance basically is like, hey, listen. He's like, hey, listen, we've got an idea, though. We just need an in, and we thought we'd call up your ex-boyfriend. And she's like, my ex-boyfriend? What do you mean? How'd you know about him? And it's like, I've been reading your 400-year file. Yeah.
Which one?
Right.
Which one?
Which one of the
she's
Klingon
like
houses?
Years old. Like,
yeah.
She's probably had many.
Well, he said the guy's name. It was like Boromir or something like that.
Oh my gosh, poor Amir. Okay, sorry.
She's like, how'd you know about that? He hid the ring in my... Anyway, so we cut into Genesis and Caleb being like, well, we can help Jaden, and he's like, I'll give you your hand, and Jaden's like, I don't need your hand, I'm gonna handle this myself, and walks
Damn
off.
hands off me.
Get your damn hands off me.
I knew we were
Um,
eventually going to get this shot. I just didn't know what episode it was going to be in.
So don't Klingons conquer planets? They couldn't go to planets they already took over. That's by EJR 87R.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions like what happened to the entire Klingon Empire and all the planets that they owned. They owned more than just Kronos. Apparently, all their planets got attacked by the Cylons.
I try to rationalize it because I know that a lot of Klingons, they were on ships, or the warrior's life of being on ships and on raiding ships. All those warriors are gone, right? You have a limited few that survived that was living on Kronos or off-world, right? So you're basically dealing with a lot of either inexperience or elder individuals who are trying to train up, or people who, like, they probably did exactly what was mentioned, try to go and take over another planet with probably a pittance of an army and got crushed, right? I think that it isn't as easy as I thought. Like, Starfleet Earth was able to rebound pretty well in the time from the burn. Look, they have a friggin' academy. They have tons of damn ass ships. What we see, the Klingon Empire, quote unquote empire, looks to be like just like a handful of scrap shuttles, and
Yeah, the fleet that happens later that we get to, we're jumping ahead, but yes, the fleet looks very much like a farmer's fleet. It doesn't hold up. Clearly, the Empire has fallen the fuck apart in the past 1,000 years, and again, they yada-yada'd over it. There's no real explanation other than Buddy's like, well, I'm with my few houses and whatnot. Like,
why do you assume that they're gonna yada yada? You don't think they're gonna come back to it and go into?
Well, if they do, they need to figure it out, because right now in this episode, and the reason why I assume they're not going to come back to it is because we only get 10 episodes. We get 10 episodes this season. This seems like a pretty serious story arc that would involve the Klingons that should probably take a few episodes, and something tells me they're not going to do that. Something tells me that these 10 episodes...
Second season. Sounds like a total...
I mean, sure, second season, but is it just going to be second season in one episode, and then we're going to get like another 10 episodes where it's Strange New Worlds-esque, and like each episode doesn't quite follow up? Like what? Like where's... I don't know. I don't want to digress too much. I keep digressing so much, and
we're still under an hour, Murphy. We're doing well.
I think we're only like 10 minutes in this episode, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. We haven't even gotten past
let's move on.
Fucking Lonely Boy's broken heart syndrome about his family being killed or whatever the fuck it is. He got orphaned because he got his brother killed because his brother wanted to trade for another piece of Enterprise technology, and his dad's too much of a Zionist fuck to be like, no Starfleet here. We can't do that.
You troglodyte or something.
Yeah. Basically, he's like, well, I can give me the regenerator. He's like, no, we're Klingons. We don't do that here. And
we just die.
Dies. He just dies. The cog falls off the wheel. And that's Jaden's broken-hearted backstory.
This is similar to the religions that don't let you have like blood transfusions and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, the thing that killed the original, or not the original Gomez, the good Gomez. What's his name? M. Bison from Street Fighter.
Raul Julia?
Raul Julia. Yeah. He was kind of in that like wheelhouse.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He got an illness and he refused to be treated for it, and that's what killed him.
No, we could have got Street Fighter 2 with more Bison.
Yeah, we could have had so much. We could have had so much Raul Julia.
Right? What happened on Street Fighter was, for any other person, was the most important day of their life. For him, it was a Tuesday. we could have found out what happened on Wednesday
or Thursday. It like
Exactly.
could you imagine Raul Julia and the new Street Fighter movie coming up? Oh,
Oh,
That would have been
magnificent.
amazing.
yes.
It would have been amazing. So yeah, we get into the scene where the whitest Klingon enters the room and smells
I
some
call
good
him
old fashioned blood wine.
Is Al the
nine-
Klingon?
Al the Klingon.
His name's
Nine-
Al. Stands for
9 foot
albino.
Al the Klingon. You know what? Actually, I just realized who this reminds me of. Was that
Santa Claus?
Travolta film Battlefield Earth? Was it?
Oh God. Yes.
Was it
yes.
that one?
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah. What were the alien species called?
It doesn't matter. It was a terrible movie.
The Cyclos. Yeah, that's where he reminds me of a Cyclo from
They all have
Battlefield
those things
Earth.
in their nose.
Yeah. Anyway, he's here to basically be like, hear out Aki, maybe go for a quick drink, and she's like, do you want to talk business, or should we get to foreplay? And she's like, well, let's do the business. Everything's gonna get messy. So she presents the
is
planet.
way smaller than him.
Way smaller. She's smaller than everybody on this crew, right? I hope
What
they
is
brought her a
Hunter's
chiropractor.
actual height? I'm gonna
I
look
think
it
she's
up.
like 5'2". Like she's not a very big lady. But yeah, her this whole scene is basically her presenting the planet to him to bring it back to the thing, and he's like, "No, we cannot take your
5'2", you're right.
charity. Yeah, we cannot take your Starfleet charity. That is not our way. We have to conquer things." And they keep saying this throughout the whole episode. Klingons need to conquer things. Klingons, got to battle this, do that. And it started making me think, it's like, okay, it's been 1,000 years. Starfleet has been dealing with the Klingons for 1,000 years. You think they would understand their customs after 1,000 years. And yet they can't get the hint that the Klingons can't just be given a planet. They need to take it. And they're stuck on that sort of like hook. Jaden's having these flashbacks about hunting this bird of prey. He doesn't want to shoot it because he wants to honor his brother. He wants to honor his brother by basically not killing and going after the science. And his father freaks out, misses the shot, freaks out some more, kicks the little toy off the edge. It breaks. Jaden again mulls this over and keeps having panic attacks. And then Remy comes in and kind of molests him into breathing his way and centering himself.
Okay.
in
It wasn't
this
just
weird
me.
alien thing.
This is very awkward.
This was the heated rivalry moment of the episode. I mean, this was like, wait, what?
And I'm like, is he gonna kiss him?
I'm
like,
Yeah, if
I'm
it was like, no, Keith.
This is unexpected. Okay.
It was very unexpected, and I was like, is this why Remy was like challenging him because he was trying to hit on him when we first saw him? Is that what that was?
What's
He wasn't
Kyle
actually
gonna
trying to be
say?
a bully. Yeah, what's Kyle gonna
That's
say?
what I
Kyle's
wanna
pretty
know.
interested.
Poor Kyle.
I mean, yeah, are we gonna get a love triangle between Remy, Kyle, and Jaden? Like, is this what's
No,
gonna
Kyle
happen?
will destroy them all.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Kyle will have the pick of the litter, I'm sure.
But yeah, I'm starting to relook at their first interaction a little bit, and I'm thinking maybe he was just trying to flirt in the most Klingon way. So yeah, Jaden sort of leans back. He's like, "Whoa, not maybe about that. Maybe, I don't know. I'll think about it." And he thinks about it, and then we cut to the big debate scene. The doc is introduced as the headmaster. Oh, there was a line earlier where I'm gonna start using this in trivial debates. Caleb had said to Jaden, he's like, I'm the best debater here. I'm the master debater. I'm a master debater.
We've used that many times. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Dave,
Well, I'm just
Dave
saying.
alone has used that many times.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, bud.
from now on, in trivial debates, the winner shall be known as the master debater. I'm just saying. It's
All right.
the thing we're gonna do.
Waka
Anyway.
waka.
Waka waka. So we have a brief scene with Laura Toth where she sees that Chancellor Akey is a little hungover. She's like, "You hungover?" She's like, "Nope." She's like, "Did things go well with Obadi Obada, and she's like, nope. Yep, not go well, whatever. We get this debate scene, everyone's doing well, and then it's Jaden versus Caleb. Jaden starts freaking out, but then, you know, you get a look at the stands, do your meditations, bro. Jaden starts breathing, and then they
I
start
thought the
having
music
their
was
debate.
gonna swell when he did it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All the things she
Believe
said,
in
all the
yourself,
things she
Peter.
said.
Is this really the
things she
best
said,
use
all the
of
things she
the
said.
EMH, by the way?
Okay, so a few things I want to point out about the EMH. In the first episode, he was able to stop a fight because he read that everyone's heart rates and stuff was regulating and going through the roof. Yet he's leading his class earlier, and Jaden's clearly having an anxiety panic attack, and he's like, "Are you okay? Do you need to sit down?" It's like, can you not read his vital stats and be like, "Oh, you're having a panic attack. Let me fix this." Anyway, these two start getting into personal attacks. You know, you don't have family, you don't have Klingons, yada, yada, yada. He ends the debate. We get to Jaden being in, and then Laura Toth comes in, and she's like, I come from a lineage of...
By the way, this is the only scene that I really, really liked in this episode. Was
really?
her interacting with him, yeah.
Yeah, this
Liked
was
it.
the one good scene in this episode, and it actually brought a little tear to my eye, because this scene is where she starts being like, I should have been your mentor. I come from a house of, you know, Klingons, 3 generations of Klingons, and generations of
Her mother was
clones,
Klingon,
basically.
right? Mother was Klingon.
Yeah.
Her dad was
Jem'Hadar.
Jem'Hadar. And basically, because her family decided to hook up with the Jem'Hadars, they became ostracized. Their house became ostracized from the rest of Klingon and all that stuff. So she's, you know, giving this heart to heart where she should be a mentor. And then he explains, how can I do this? I, you know, betrayed my father's honor. I didn't go for the kill. And she's like, that's not it. He's like, but he missed the shot. And he's like, Klingons don't miss in anger. And then she explains to him that he realized that Jaden was the bigger warrior, essentially, and he's found the better path, and his father's trying to honor it, and he let him go, which led him to become to Starfleet. And he comes to all these realizations that, oh, maybe I am not such a pussy. Maybe I am making warrior choices.
I'm not sure that's exactly how it was, but okay.
No, that's exactly how it was. That was
You thought it
verbatim
back-
what happened in the show.
He's like thinking to himself, man,
I'm not afraid anymore.
So
talking.
he goes into the debate with Jiminy Cricket in his heart and proceeds to let everyone know that they cannot be Starfleet if they do not respect Klingon ways. Again, we head back to, they have known the Klingons for thousands of years. They should know that these people are warrior people. You can't just try and gift it. And he's like, you can't do the thing you want to do if you don't respect the ways we do it. If you want to do it, you got to respect our ways. Basically, painting the picture that they have to have a battle. Yeah. This was the coolest scene in the episode when the saucer section of the Athena just sort of lifts up, does a 180 turn, and then shotguns off into space with one of the coolest.
Did you want it to be like 5 more minutes, like a motion picture or a original series where the music just swells and it's like?
No, I think the way they did this was perfect.
Okay.
Like,
because that would be classic Trek.
But
it would be classic Trek, but like
now, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, but don't they need those floaty nacelles to go warp, or their version of warp now?
maybe this is like short drift warp, and the nacelles in the back of this thing can do it. It's kind of like the Defiant, maybe.
All right.
Yeah. I thought this was.
I think majority of the
type.
Majority of the school is in the
Yeah.
actual ship, and
Yeah,
like
like,
that is
clearly.
Yeah,
battle.
this is their version of the captain's yacht, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it takes off,
It's-
gets away
it's
from
the-
the main
yeah.
ship.
Yeah, it's the main saucer section. They can go do battle.
I don't
whatever.
actually hate this ship that much. Like I know that it gets a lot of hate, but I don't really hate it that much.
I
I
don't
think
know,
just
everything I've
terrible.
read about this, everyone likes the design of this ship. I haven't really read.
Oh,
any
really? Yeah,
hates.
I've
Yeah.
only seen mostly negative about it, but
But yeah, to further your point there, Jaemeel, about how there would be music rising up and it would be classic Trek to like warp off with a crescendo and all that stuff. This is the type of stuff where this is the kind of change in Star Trek that I get behind, because this was subtle, brief, but had some impact, and it wasn't like that's the stuff in Trek that I'm down to see changes in. And then there's the things that I'm going to expand upon this when we're done with the recap, but there are things about this show that I'm missing. So we're getting to the end here. These guys, he gets the bridge. He's welcomed aboard. They make it, to the planet that they're hosting. They call up Aurora Borealis and tell him, "Hey, man, for the safety of the Federation, you can't come here and any Klingon ships nearby. We're gonna have a tussle. Okay, so just so you know, don't you do it." And he's like, "You're declaring war?" It's like, she's like, "Yes, come fight." Then you get this lineup of ships. I meant to write down the name of these. I forget them already.
One of them
but I
is
remember.
USS Riker.
Yeah, USS
Yeah.
Riker, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, one of them's USS Riker, which I thought was an awesome name. There was some other ones in there. I don't know if they were important or if they meant anything.
All
I'm
I
sure
can
they
say
do.
is the ship that we're seeing on the bottom, like the bottommost one, is
Yeah.
the most god awful looking ship out of everything I've seen in this series so
So
far.
you're saying
And
that if Beverly Crusher was to pick a ship out of the bunch, she's
That
taking
would be
that
the one right there. She's like, "Do you have anything that looks like a big set of balls?" And she's like, and they're like, "No." And they're like, "But we do have this thing that looks kind of like a wedge that you would wedge your like door open in. You want that one?" She's like, "Yeah." Yeah, that's exactly how that would go.
I'm assuming that one's the USS Riker.
I hope not. If that is, that sucks.
It has like a trombone feature or something.
It's got burr, burr, burr. You can never hit that one note though.
Yeah.
He always
So
screws
yeah,
up the solo.
So yeah, the Starfleet lines up with their 6 ships, and then the Klingons come in, and I was like, "Oh damn, the Klingons mean business." They come in with all these other ships, and I'm like, they're coming in with like the whole battalion, and then
They clearly have more ships than Starfleet does.
way more ships than Starfleet. But then you come to realize that none of these ships have any power. Like she's like, "Okay, aim wide, put on a good show. Let's do this dance." Basically, they're doing the if you want to be a part of Fight Club, you can't talk about Fight Club, and you got to get into a fight with somebody at Fight Club. So they're doing the Fight Club thing. They're like, we got to get the Klingons in with Federation via Fight Club rules, and they have a little bar tussle. The Klingons hit them with their best shots that has 0 effect or damage to any of the ships, and then they're like, "Okay, cool, done. We give up. We surrender. You can have the planet." It's like, "We take this planet in the name of Klingon, yada yada." And then it's winky winky. Everyone's happy. He pops on board, gives "You guys did it. You figured out their ways. You taught it. You figured out how to fight us for the thing. We can't give it to us, but we can take it. And we took it fair and square, without any bloodshed.
This is
Honorable." Yeah. And then he's like, "Can I, beam something onto the ship?" And he brings in this Batleth 2.0 crossbow fucking thing.
Hybrid
And it looks
thing,
like the
yeah.
one his father had. Why couldn't it just be a Batleth? Why does it have to be a new toy that we have to buy from Hasbro? I don't know.
Because it's a new
marketing.
toy you have to buy from Hasbro.
Exactly.
We talked about this
Marketing,
last week.
baby.
Last week, did we get an update on those pajamas? Let's.
I'll look. I
No,
have
no
not seen them
updates on
yet,
the
but I am
pajamas.
still looking for them.
And then we get a closing out show where bros be bros. They finally reconcile. He's having his spicy warrior stew. How's the stew? Spicy. And
He's
then
even a pussy when he eats that. Like, come on.
he's not the toughest
Anyway.
Klingon, but
Not even
Caleb
playing
all of a sudden pulls out his balls to give to Jaden, and Jaden grabs
like,
the
"Here's my ball."
balls. Here's
You
my
only get
balls,
one.
bro. And it symbolized, brothers giving their heart or whatever. Hey, your brother's balls were broken. Let me fix your brother's balls and give you back your brother's balls. Says
It was an okay
caresses as he caresses the balls. He's like, "I did not have room for you for the heart in my heart.
Okay.
I did not have room for the both of you in my heart, and now I can live in the present or whatever." And that's
I
basically
love how
the episode
they
ends.
show Caleb's debating award that he won, and they keep it in shot repeat in the background. Like he still won.
By the
Caleb
way,
still
he's awesome. Just so you know.
won. Just so you know.
Who cares if this
figured it
Klingon
out.
is having like a crisis? He did win.
He did win. And
That's
then he
still
plays
better
it, and
follow up
it's-
than what happened to the Klingons. But anyway,
Yeah, so he plays the ball starts playing, and it's the audio clip with Stephen Colbert's robot voice. Okay, so that's our clips. That's the episode in general.
all right.
Yeah. How do we feel? Let's go around the table. Jody, let's start with you. What were your thoughts about this? Now that we've
There
gone
were
through
some
the-
points that I thought were good. I liked seeing, Caden's family or Jaden's family. Sorry, I keep calling him Caden. I don't know why. Jaden's family. I liked those scenes. I thought they were interesting, even though realistically, I'm sure it was shot in the forest down the street. Where'd Worldmind go? Anyway,
He's want to
uh,
focus on you.
yeah, it's because he doesn't like looking at us. But anyway. But I don't know. I don't think it was a terrible episode. I think it's mediocre at best. If I was compare this to an episode of, let's say, TNG, I would compare this to a Barclay episode. It's okay.
Okay.
It's nothing great. There's only one good Barclay episode, and this is not it.
So, blithering wimp finds himself through adversity. You're right. This
Almost
is a
the exact
Barclay
same
episode.
thing.
Yeah. No, you're pretty on spot on. Jaemeel, what are your thoughts about this episode?
I like this episode.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm gonna go into.
I know. I'm curious.
I did actually like the interactions with Jaden and Jaden's struggle throughout the episode. I like that we have a starting point of where the Klingons are, and I understand Worldmind, your fear, your worry that it's going to be like next week we're going to tell you what happens to the Bajorans, and then next week we're going to tell you what happens with Ryza, and we're never going to ever mention it again, right? But we're just including all these little lore points throughout the season. We're just going to put it in each episode. Like we're going to talk about each thing. So we're just establishing what everything is post burn as world building, as opposed to having an organic story that is like what happened to the Klingons becomes this epic season long, storyline that we follow along, and Jaden is the main character. But taking this episode at face value, it's a great introduction into what does Klingon who isn't a traditional warrior, what is their path and what is their struggle. I do dock this episode points because what they finally get to in terms of the resolution and having that Jaden finally getting a mentor of some sort, like what is the mentor's feelings around the situation, right? She's Klingon too, so like, does she not have an opinion? Does she not have relatives or other members that or that might be connected to this massive tragedy? Nah, I'm good. I only got my job. That's it. My job is to, say snarky stuff and now give emotional support. That's it. That part is lacking, and that part should have been explored in this episode. Even if it was just a small bit of the episode, as we continue to grow each of the characters. Every single character has to they're all equal parts of a story, especially if it involves. So when the Sam story comes along, is the Doctor not going to be featured in it except for a 2-minute scene where he gives keep your chin up, buckaroo sequence? We will feel cheated, right? So in that part, that's the part I felt cheated of this episode. But overall, I like the story. I will argue to people who feel like the acting is bad. I don't think the acting is bad, right? I think you can have general conversations about what they're being told to say, right? But I think this episode specifically spoke to me a lot, and I like the episode a lot.
All right.
Rusty, what do you feel about this episode?
Well, before I get in mine, Mike Elmore says he just finished watching the episode and loved it. Sam is still their favorite character, and even though she didn't have much time in this one, and Talk said her family renounced her house.
Somebody
still
has
fighting
to
like Jim
explain
Hart.
to me why
Along with
Sam-
the Jem'Hadar, but still, that doesn't necessarily mean that she does not have any skin in what's happening to the Empire.
Somebody explain to
on,
me
man.
why Sam is a good character, because I keep hearing this, but yet I don't see it. I don't get it.
I think
She's
I
fun.
think it's her joy.
Is she?
Fun.
Yeah.
No, she's lame.
Yeah, like she's supposed to be autistic coded, and they're trying to play it off as cutesy bootsy,
Ugh.
and it's not hitting for me specifically. I'm hoping that when they do have the Sam episode and explore their path that led them to Starfleet and why they're there, I'm hoping that's going to add more weight to the character, and maybe I'll find a bit more investment into Sam. But yeah. I don't think anyone's acting terribly in this show. I wouldn't say that. It's just some of the writing is a bit it doesn't feel like Star Trek in the sense that if you look at like TNG, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, to some degree Lower Decks, and even Discovery. Well, this is where this starts falling apart, is Discovery and Strange New Worlds. The dialogue is, although rigid, there's that scientific feeling, that sort of, how do I want to say, trimmed feeling to the dialogue. You know, there's a lot of technobabble to it, but the technobabble also works as, exposition to general storyline. And there's basically Starfleet is space navy. They're the navy, but they're in space. They're not the military, but they're basically the navy, right? And there's always been that regiment of captain this, yes sir, ma'am, all that stuff. That has dwindled a lot in the Discovery era. There's a lot of shortcutting in the dialogue, a lot of, first-hand speak. They do it aggressively in Strange New Worlds, too much so to my favor, and they're doing it with Starfleet Academy as well, where that sometimes they'll have like those brief moments where like he's like, "May I be dismissed?" and she's like, "Yes, you can be dismissed," but it's all still very like relaxed in the dialogue, a little maybe too much so. And I think that's where it's faltering and not feeling quite Star Trek. And I'm hoping maybe they'll resolve that in later seasons. Will they? Probably not. This is probably the way Star Trek's going to be written. Is this modern shorthand talk, the referencing of people's first names as opposed to their ranks or whatnot? How many times can you honestly say you saw Picard call Commander Riker Will? Like, but if you look at like Strange New Worlds, no, but if you look at Strange New Worlds,
but you're saying Strange New Worlds, but this is a different situation, and it makes more sense here than it does in Strange New Worlds.
In Starfleet, it does make in Starfleet Academy, it makes way more sense, but it doesn't in Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds, you shouldn't have Luna be calling Captain Pike Chris every 5 minutes on the bridge of all things. It's like you can't like that. That's a disconnect in the writing that makes this feel not quite like Star Trek, and I think that's where a lot of people's complaints maybe stem from. And they're like, this doesn't quite hit the notes because it's so jovial and trying to be like Earth-like, and we're not in Earth, we're in friggin' space. So yeah, Starfleet Academy's writing in hand it feels a bit messy, and maybe it'll clear up, I don't know. This episode,
I think
was
that's the
better
journey,
than the last
though.
episode. Yeah,
I think that's the
that
journey
is the
for
journey.
this show.
And I agree, and I think that's where I'm hoping the later episodes of the show is going to make up for a lot of these early episodes. I'm willing to forgive the first 5 episodes of this show. They are what they are. They're going to be what they are. I'm hoping by the last 5 we're going to have a strong written direction of like, okay, I see where this show is going to start leading to, and these kids are going to start breaking out of their bubbles and start, experiencing the harsh reality of the universe around them that many past
But
Star Trek shows have experienced before.
Isn't the thought idea process that these individuals have already felt the harsh reality of the world, and the Starfleet Academy is like the shelter from the storm, right? So I think the what we need to see is they've are receiving the shelter right now, and once they get cleaned up, what happens when they have to go back into the storm again? Do they revert back to old habits, which I think some of them should, right? Because this is their first attempt or first experience with organization of structure and rules, and you can beat that into someone's head, right? But you don't really know if it clicks until they're pressured outside, where the only thing that they will have is the structure they were taught and the rules and the organization, right? And I think it would be a great thing to see. It works for some and it falters for others, right? I know I have a lot of hope for this show. I have a lot of hope for a lot of shows, and I can see what it could be. Does it get to it? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
trying
I think
to. I'm trying to be as nice as I can about
I
this.
think
show.
you are. I've never seen anyone
I know
being
it's not for me.
unfair.
Like,
I don't think anyone's being unfair. Everyone
and
skepticism.
I can rip every Star Trek episode. Like there's always something that bothers me, and it's fine. And maybe I'm a prick because of that, but it's to me the first episode to me I thought was fantastic. I thought that was a great way to start the show. The second episode, third episode, this one. So in my curve, it's actually going back up again. So we'll see. But it's
from
if you like it, you like it. That's really what it comes down to. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. Hopefully, it lasts as long as you want it to last. I personally can't see this going past 2 seasons.
1 billion seasons, 6 seasons
of
the movie.
1 billion seasons. This show is definitely not going to make it.
So Mike Elmore says these cadets have all been through the harshness of the universe. Yes, I agree. This is their first real experience with the Federation as something other than an unorganized thing that they abandoned most.
Yes, and I completely agree with that statement. However, you're not showing any of that. And that's the thing. This is all just
it's speculation at best.
Yeah. And that's the problem, I think. The
no
burn
pressure, writer's room. I have a lot of faith in you.
I think the burn idea, I actually kind of like the idea of the burn. I don't like how it was done, but I like the idea of a universe catastrophic event, not just to one planet or one solar system. Literally the entire universe had this problem. So it's I like it, and I think you could really develop on that. And I think having 2 kids who went through high school during COVID and had to deal with all those challenges, I think we could do better in this. And I think that's kind of the problem that I have, is that I think we're glossing over things. I think actually Murphy was the one that said that the most during this, was let's just keep mentioning something and then gloss over it and don't come back to it. And that's the thing that bothers me about that, because the thing I like about Star Trek, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people like about Star Trek, is the lore, the backstories on these characters. Like Worf, even though I don't think Worf is a great character, he definitely improves when they give him more information. When you get more information about Worf, he's a better character. And with this, Jaden, I think Is he a better character after this? I think he is. I think we understand him
Yeah.
a little bit more. Okay, but is he a great character? Not yet. Maybe he will be, though. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he gets bullied and he turns into like some hardcore asshole, and who knows, right? Like, we don't know. And I'm as I said, and I know I keep repeating myself, it sounds like a broken record, but I know this isn't made for me. I get it. I'm not going to be harsh because of that. I'm trying to judge it for what it is, and I think it right now I'm sitting at okay to so that's where I'm at right now, but it hasn't completely destroyed itself like I thought it would by the 4th episode. So
Well, from my understanding, so a lot of media establishments like Trek Culture and stuff, they were gifted like the first 6 episodes, and from
Yes.
my understanding and their non-spoiler impressions, episode 3 is the worst of the 6, which implies that episode
Okay.
3 is probably the worst of the season. And if that's the worst of the season,
yeah, I think the
That's-
2nd episode was actually worse from an episode viewpoint.
okay. I don't agree with that. I didn't mind episode 2. I had questions, but like it was weaker compared to the first episode. But yeah, the bell curve is very much doing this one, and
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that though, because we all take things like this differently, right? So
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump in and play Jody with this. Mike
Okay.
Elmore says it's the 4th episode. TNG by the 4th episode was still not really that developed, but
absolutely,
as we talked about last episode,
Mhm.
it's the 4th. That was the 4th episode of a 26 episode season. This is
Yes.
the 4th episode of a 10 episode season. Very
Yep.
different, and expectations should be different as well.
yes.
Jody,
And that's and it's
This
and
is
that's
also
why
this is also a series that has the ability to take 2 years to release a season, which is kind of what they're doing nowadays, or at least a year and a half anyway. And if you have a year and a half to focus on 10 episodes, I expect them to be pretty good. Like, because yes, TNG first season, a lot of garbage in there, a lot of garbage. And I totally get it, but you're also writing 26 episodes in a 1-year time span, and you have to produce all of those all within that time. Network TV is a whole different ball of wax compared to
and
compared
your
to-
So it could
budget
be
gets slashed. Like, special effects got a little bit too expensive in episode.
Yeah, so your
13,
next episode has to suck.
We're rewriting episode 22 because we need to make it into a more of a model episode.
If you're going to give me 10 episodes a season, I expect a much higher bar to hit. And I'm not saying they're not hitting it. I think they aren't totally, but I think they're hitting it in some levels. I think there's some okay humor in the show. There's more humor in this show than some of the other Star Trek shows for sure. But obviously not Lower Decks, but some of the other stuff. I just think, yeah, and I understand that philosophy that people are saying, oh, it's only the 4th episode. It's only the 4th episode. You can't excuse the fact that they've had like this is the first season that they've been working on for 2 years. They've made 10 episodes in 2 years. Now, yeah, there's special effects and stuff. I get that, but they
finished the 2nd season, didn't they? They finished filming.
no,
the
they're
second?
filming the 2nd season.
They're filming
Okay,
it right
here's the
now.
thing. Here's the thing. We are getting at the end of COVID production timelines. Just
Oh,
now,
I'm
we're
tired
just
of that
getting out
fucking
of it.
here. Because I've seen a whole bunch of shows that were produced during COVID that were fan-fucking-tastic. So you can't
But
tell me
no.
that is the reason why.
I'm not saying it's about the production of the show or whatever. It's about the timelines in the productions. When COVID first happened, there was almost like a 6-month shutdown in the
Absolutely.
productions of everything, right?
Yeah, this show
And
was just in Kurtzman's balls at that point. He wasn't making anything on this yet. So
right, but
we can't
even
use that.
after that first 6 months, productions took another 6 months before they really got full in swing.
Sure.
Right. So a lot of
Okay.
shows like that, they needed to get a lot of the production that's happening, all of that like delayed production is starting to like be done with. and they're getting into more regular productions again, which means the timelines of shows is no longer going to be 3 years apart. It's getting to more like a year apart now.
Sure,
And
that
I
might
think
be the
that's
case.
going to be the case from now
Let's
on.
see when they release the second season of this show, because we know
I
they're
bet
almost
you-
done.
Bet you dollars
think
to
it's
donuts they're going to release the second season of this show in January 2027.
I think so too.
I doubt it, but let's see. I hope.
I mean,
so.
if they're
I think
they're
that would be
already
great.
have. Why do you doubt that?
Why do I doubt that? Because
Yes.
one thing that we've seen time and time again from this generation of Star Trek, and the production of this generation of Star Trek, whether it be before COVID or after COVID, still had that problem. And look at Picard. Picard, what was the timeline in between those seasons? Like, I think it was like a year and a half or something, right?
Yeah, but that was during COVID.
Part of it, yes, absolutely. Not all of it. I'm just tired of it, and I'm not trying to attack you or anything, Murphy. I
No.
know that you know more about production than I do. I will stand by that for sure. I just feel that when you have something like this, when you control all of the aspects of the production, that includes schedules, timelines, everything.
Do they?
Okay. Yeah, they absolutely do.
No, you're they still belong to Paramount. And
Absolutely. No, Paramount probably gives them a hard target and they have to hit it, right?
And
I totally get
but
that.
Paramount's probably also like hold off on things or go ahead, or like Paramount's is in upheaval right now.
Absolutely.
Right. So
Yep.
I don't think that's necessarily fair, but still continue your point. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that point. And yeah, I get that. There's always going to be some sort of red tape or something that they're going to have to deal with. I get that. Okay. I'm just saying that when you have a 10 episode season that you control the streaming on, realistically, or Paramount does, because Paramount, at the end of the day, it's their fault because they allowed it to happen. Right. So either way, still their fault. That's not necessarily a Kurtzman issue. That's a Paramount issue. Right. But I feel if you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me over and over and over again that I need to be more relaxed on this because, they have a harder time with production, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but they also don't have network level 26 episode seasons that they used to have to pump out a ton of crap really quickly. You shot an episode in 5 days. It was edited for 3, and then they started releasing them. You know, like
And then the writers' strikes happen for good reason because people are being overworked out the asshole.
Yeah. So
right?
Tell me why, out of all the Star Trek series, why this one has to have like 18 executive producers.
I don't
Anybody?
think it does. Does it?
Absolutely. Go have a look at the executive producer count on this show.
Ooh,
It'll
let's
blow
look.
your mind. Go ahead.
I'm
Oh,
looking it
do
up.
fact check. Okay, in the meantime,
Nothing
while
better
Murphy's
than
looking
dead
that up,
air.
I will do some cleanup. So last week I did mention that come this week we're gonna see someone selling the pajamas. Right now,
Did that happen?
it's on Etsy, so not official,
Not
but someone on
officially.
Etsy has the tiny warp core
always
women's
put it on
satin pajamas.
People, don't
Right they're selling it for $153 Canadian.
Jesus
$153.
Christ.
That's a lot. I can go on Temu and create custom pajamas with that picture on it. And
Yeah.
I just answered the answer.
no, I get you. Etsy always there's the Etsy tax as well. Right?
Yeah, it's tax.
You want it first. That's how you get it, right? You get it through Etsy. But hey, power to them. if they can-
Not everyone. Look, if you're
Can I get the Enterprise D warp core though? Because that's the one I really want on.
that's
there.
the one you want.
Yeah.
If you're gonna buy the fulongs, what's it? The flog, the boots, the like $900 boots, right? I think you can $153 pajamas.
Yeah, that ain't gonna hurt you.
Yes, you can scoff at that. For the
Exactly.
most part.
Yeah,
There's
Etsy always
24
comes through.
producers on the show, but You got to realize that's 24
no,
producers
not
over
exclusive.
10 episodes. No. That's 24 producers over 10 episodes. It's not like there's 24 producers for each episode.
Okay, so when you watch the credits next time, you tell me how many producers are being shown then.
Okay, you're
Go
going to
ahead,
get
Matt.
Alex Kurtzman, Noga Landu, Gia Violo, and then probably 2 other producers based on the episodes, because Alex Kurtzman, Noah Landau, and Gia Viola are producers on all 10 episodes, and then
Absolutely.
the rest of the producers are on like 2-episode basis.
Yes,
like Tawny Newsome,
yes, producers. Yeah.
co-producers, co-executive producers, consulting producers. Either way, they're just
How many
helping
producers
work on the episode.
DS9.
On DS9?
Mhm.
How many make it do this shit?
In the
right now?
meantime, I'll.
Just so you know.
So Mike Elmore said, I saw someone selling a dream catcher with 2 feathers hanging down and labeled it Starfleet Academy Combat.
You're not wrong. I can't say I like the logo. I can't
Look,
say I like it. I
Um,
get it that it's the ship, and that's cool, I guess.
I would love to see some more modern merchandise for Star Trek. You know, I love my original series shirts and stuff, but like, get me some DS9 inspired ones, some Voyagers inspired ones. Hell, give me give me a Saru shirt, man, or something. Get me a Boeing shirt. Give me all of it. I have a choo choo shirt. I have 2 choo choo shirts. Right?
Two. Wow.
2 choo choo shirts. Paramount sent me one that was.
I didn't know you were
size too
such
small.
a choo-choo aficionado.
Yeah. Paramount sent me one that was one size too small, and then
I want to know when I get the interactive big
22
version.
producers, Jody. You got 22 producers for Deep Space Nine.
Yep. On 26 episodes.
No.
Yep.
On 173 episodes.
Oh,
You
even more. Sorry.
You get Nick Berman, Peter Larson, Steve Oster, and Ira Stephen Bear for 173 episodes, and then the
Yep.
remaining producers on certain episodes count. Like James Crocker was a supervising producer for 26 episodes, and Christine Cox.
I don't
was
know what
an
you're trying to
associate
argue
producer
here,
for
but
10
it's not working.
I don't know what you're trying to argue. What's the point
I'm
of
trying to
talking
tell
about
you that
producer
there's
codes?
way too many fucking cooks in the kitchen on this show,
Oh,
as
my
well
God.
as
What do
there
you
has been
fucking
on every other.
mean?
kitchen.
There's not. How can there
Oh,
be too many
absolutely.
cooks in the kitchen?
You know,
I don't understand your point. There's only 3 cooks in the kitchen, and then on an episode basis, they're going to bring in because they can't be focused on the episode every episode.
And
Like,
episodes
the-
and they can't be focused on them. All right. I get it.
Oh, this is
You
true.
realize they're filming the episodes at multiple times, right? They're not just doing this one episode at a time. They're filming like multiple episodes at the same time.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
This is
what's
so
your fucking
cool.
point about producers then? What's the matter if there's 24 producers on 10 episodes? Where's the mathing?
I'll
Okay.
explain it later then.
Okay,
What?
so
No. You're gonna explain to me right now. I need to understand your math behind this. What does 24 producers working on 10 episodes? Why does that make a difference?
Jody, do you want to think about your answer before you answer it?
I can if you want. Do you have something to say?
So, Mike Elmore writes, my favorite piece of merch is my TNG era Bluetooth comm badge.
well.
It pairs with my phone, and I can answer and place calls by tapping it. Jody,
I so wanted that. I really wanted that hard. No, the reason why I'm saying these is executive producer's point, and it's something that has happened not just to this show. It's actually happened to a lot of shows. Whereas you start getting different producers in for different episodes. I totally get that. Okay, that does happen in every series. The problem that I have is that if you want something to be consistent, you have to have a decent amount of the exact same thing. That is the whole definition of consistent. The thing that we have in Kurtzman era Star Trek is we have a lot of this way, then this way, then this way, then this way, then this way. We don't have consistency, and that's something that I have a real hard time with this series. Not this actually series that much compared, because I've only had
Just
4
Kurtzman's series.
most of Kurtzman's stuff, yes.
Okay.
Now, the only exception to that, I think, is probably Lower Decks, because I think Lower Decks did a really good job keeping things consistent and keeping things to the same par, the same level. But even if you look at this curve, which it's not really fair to judge it by 4, I agree. Okay, because especially if you're telling me that they've received 6 episodes and the reviews have received 6 episodes and the worst one was last week. If you're telling me that, I have very high hope. Okay. So maybe it's going to get a lot better. I don't know. But it's just to me, producers are something that when you have to add that many producers, there's something wrong because the show itself should flow. And if it doesn't flow and you have to have that many cooks in the kitchen, you got a problem. And when you see a lot of the shows that fail in later seasons, such as, for instance, Game of Thrones, lots of producers in the last season. And that was the reason that I think the consistency just went completely down. And I'm worried about that because when I look at the credits for the show
podcast.
What's that?
Keep going.
It is a
That's
whole other podcast,
but yeah.
And let's not get too far into it. But what I'm saying is when you look at for instance, the opening credits of this show, there's more credits for executive producers on this show than there is actual cast in the credits. That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. And I don't think that should ever be the case. But anyway, I can get way deeper into this, but A, I don't think you're there yet, Murphy, and B, it's too long.
I don't think you're there, Murphy. He'll meet you at the finish line.
One day you'll get there, Murphy. I get it.
Oh, fuck you, buddy.
You know what? I'm fucking with you as much as I can here, honestly, and it's working.
You know what? Well, as we've said time and time again in this episode, time will tell how this show goes. I think
Absolutely.
we've succinctly
everything else.
placed our opinions so far as things are going. That being said,
I like Mike's thing here. Man, I didn't know this was going to turn into a doctor's debate class redux. Yeah. I still want to know why the doctor's doing a debate class, but anyway, that's a whole other thing.
well, yeah, because he loves speech and he used debate to justify his existence.
True.
So yeah, where are we? Right, points. We're gonna get into the points of things. Jaemeel.
Dave gave it a 6.0.
Dave
I
gave
actually
it a
would have thought Dave would have
6.0.
liked this more personally.
Dave. Oh my gosh! All right, I'm gonna give
Jaemeel,
this.
where you at?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Giving
An
this
8?
an 8.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have been higher
Jody.
if they did what I asked them to do.
What'd you ask them to do?
I didn't like that. I feel bad. I haven't learned everyone's name. The second in command, number 1.
Oh,
Laura Talk?
Laura Talk. Yeah.
Talk,
If
yeah,
they
Talk.
if they did anything with her feelings throughout the situation that happened to the Klingons at all, like just a scene. That's all I wanted. And not getting that, I felt was a major
I think I'm getting the right amount of her. I'm actually happy with what they've done with her so far.
I agree with some notes I've heard where she's coming off a little one note where it's like she's always yelling, but I would say in these, at least the last half of the last episode and this episode, less yelling, a little more grounded.
Her face.
I think we're gonna get more of her.
with Jaden.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
face
was
to
great.
yeah. Like that's I think if we get more of that from Laura Talk, she's gonna be a great character. Jody, what's your score for this episode?
I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go 8. I can definitely tell you that. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna go 7.3.
Ooh. I thought it would definitely get in the 6.5 from you.
No. I think this was. A solid Trek episode. I don't think it's anything amazing, but I think if I'm judging it based on all the other ones, then, which is what I like to do. I like to only judge the episodes that are based on these. But with that, yeah, I think that's where the place is. I think it's better than Beta Test, and it's definitely better than the episode last week.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I would echo. It's definitely better than the last episode. And yeah, I think I was high on the fresh episode feeling, so I'm actually gonna bring Beta Test down to a 7, and I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. Because, yeah.
Which a 7.5 is respectable. I think that's an okay episode. I was entertained for the most part. It's
yeah, I was entertained for the most part. Like there were some lines that make me chuckle. I liked sort of Caleb's, bit. Mike Elmore's given it an 8.2, and the
Mike.
IMDb community
where's it
is
right
giving
now?
it.
It's only released today though, so IMDb.
It's probably gonna be like a 6.5.
6.3 right now from the IMDb.
6.3. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
So we're averaging
the people who are going to
7.2,
pitch the most are always the
IMDb.
ones that are putting the reviews in right away, right? Like, so it's like,
yeah.
So in a couple days, it'll probably even out and probably bring it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the reviews for episode 3.
Did IMDb rate the first episode 6.4?
Yeah, the entire series is getting review bombed.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't buy the review bomb crap that I always hear.
For this series,
6.3 for the first episode, yeah.
Number one, reviews
5.5
are always
is
going to be
IMDb
biased,
right now.
no matter how you look at it. And, there's a lot of people that don't even watch an episode and they still try to review it, right? So,
Well, last week it was
I think-
4.8 when we did the episode. Now it's 5.5 for last week's episode on IMDb.
like, I just feel like if the only review from something that any review you're taking from something is a number or a grade, and there's no type of feelings, thoughts, or text behind it to even see how they got to that decision, then
absolutely.
that doesn't exist as a review at all. It's throwaway.
I agree.
And
You got to
anyone
back
can-
up your points, even if you don't. Even if they're not liked by people, you still got to back them up. And
Like, if you
I'm
give
not
us-
the most liked person on this
Yeah.
channel for sure because of some of the stuff I say, but in reality, I love Star Trek. I'm passionate.
I don't know. Jody, I don't think anyone has gone on a tirade to point you out, and specifically
not in this series.
We just had members of the UFP in the past that have got a reputation in previous reviews. All I'm saying is, if someone gives something a low mark and I read their review, and I can go, okay, from that point of view, I can understand how you got to your number. It's a good review,
Absolutely.
right?
Regardless
Right?
of the outcome.
So, like, people putting a number, it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything.
Which is ironic because that's just what we did. But
Well, we talked about it for about an hour and a half before we do it. So
I made that vein in Chris's head blow up a bit too. I thought that was fun.
I needed to understand the math. It wasn't mathing, okay?
No, that's
all right. Let's wrap this up. We've been at this for almost we've been at this for 40 minutes longer than the actual episode of the show.
Par for the course on this channel.
Par for the course.
This isn't
Right,
even
so-
this isn't even the 3-hour two-parter. Like, come on now.
Yeah, we really should have broken that up into 2 episodes. But either way, well, that's neither here or there. What you can find here and there, though, is you can find more reviews of Live Long here at Live Long and Podcast. I believe we're back to TNGs on Monday.
Yeah.
We just recently did.
Next one is Captain's Holiday, I think.
Yeah, I think we recently did Allegiance just past Monday. And then, Captain's Holiday next. We also did, in case you missed it, Radio Theater of Galaxy Quest, which was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to our next Radio Theater.
Ooh.
Battlefield Earth.
It better not be. Really? I swear to God, I am not going to go on that. It better not be.
Is it seriously?
I don't think
You'll never know. You have to subscribe to find out here at Live Long and
You're
Podcast.
so full of shit. If we do that, I'm quitting this channel. I'm just telling you that right now. There's no way you're going to get me to watch that fucking movie.
So I guess with that, you know where to find us. I'll leave us with this end clip that,
Mike says he's not subscribing anymore if we do that. Well, I'm keeping Mike personally because I like Mike. I like his comments in the chat all the time. So you know what? If Mike says we ain't doing it, we ain't doing it. It's that simple. So there.
All right. Well,
Executive decision.
Let's warp out of here before everything crashes and we're on Battlefield Earth. I'm gonna play this audio clip to take us out, and then Hopefully I wasn't the worst host for tonight's episode. Next week I'll hopefully have Captain Dave Mater back from his away mission. If you want to see old Dave Mater, you can go check him out on Hey Did You See This One as he reviews Face Off with
Yeah, they're probably
hosts.
still. There's probably you think this one went long? That
They
one's
probably
going
just start
longer.
talking about the movie right now.
They probably did just start talking
We'd
about the
prob-
movie with
We'd
Jason
probably
Phillips
finished
and,
before them if we did.
and Stephen Waters. Yeah, they're talking about that. So if you love Face Off, go check out Hey Did You See This One. With that, we're taking our faces off and ending the show.
Maybe the trick is not to let go of the past, but to let the present in.
Could be.
Could be.
After 120 years, we are recruiting again. At Starfleet Academy, it's time to fly your own path. Leading diplomatic missions, providing medical aid. If you're looking for us, we're looking for you at Starfleet Academy.
Tear him to shreds.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.